Because of global warming and energy conservation, I had to cut down on Christmas decorations this year. So this is all you get. But Merry Christmas. This is the 2016 Toyota Tacoma, the new and improved model we've all been waiting for. In this case, this is the double cab 4x4 in the upgraded limited version. We also did a full test on the Tacoma's closest competitor, the 2016 GMC Canyon. If you'd like to watch that review, we'll have a link for that at the end of this video. Toyota says that the outside bodywork is virtually all new. I could go over detail and show you all the new things. Things like the Tacoma nameplate embedded in the tailgate, or the improved rear camera system embedded in this door handle assembly here, or the new grille and headlight system. But I'm not going any further with these minor changes, because if we did, we'd have a very long video. Number two, to be quite honest, I've driven this around and very few people on the street notice the difference. It looks like another Tacoma to them. I'm not supposed to say that because Toyota went to a lot of trouble and cost to redo everything, but that's just the way it is, and that's what we report here. Still, with this bright blue paint, fancy wheels, big tires, it's still a good-looking machine, and that's what counts. The base price of a Toyota Tacoma is $23,300 for the 4-cylinder single cab. I did get some sticker shock here because this 4x4 double cab limited is loaded with all kinds of goodies: leather interior, upgraded stereo, and a list of features way too long to read here. This gave us a price of $37,820. And of course, there's always something extra, $650 for the bed cover, which we'll look at later, and $650 for the towing package. Total tab with shipping, $40,020. And if we'd ordered the TRD suspension package, it would have been even more. This rear bed cover is a bargain at $650, far better than many of the aftermarket units you get. Plus it's from Toyota, so you know it's going to fit, and it's covered under warranty. You have 3 pieces that can fold up or down, and the rear tailgate locks, so you can secure all your gear. The sun's going down, so the next thing we're going to do is take these headlights out and see how they perform in the dark. Then we'll come back to look at the engine, interior, and performance. So the sun's gone down, let's check out the lights. Here we have the headlights bouncing off a wall 100 feet away. Plenty of light. High off the ground, but then the truck is high off the ground, so I would expect that. Wow, high beams. Fantastic. Really blares out there. Phase 2, we have a building 300 feet away, lights up everything we see. Even a low beam still reaches out there. Of course, once again, the height of the truck helps. Overall, a very excellent system, no complaints. Every Toyota car or Lexus car I've driven has a locking gas cap, but for some reason this Toyota truck doesn't, which is kind of odd, but that's just the way it is. The biggest improvement for 2016 is this new V6 engine. Now, the previous 4-liter V6 was a good reliable engine, but it was slightly outdated and a bit of a gas guzzler. This new V6 has 278 horsepower and better gas mileage. The EP rating of this engine in 2-wheel drive is 19 to 24 miles per gallon. In 4-wheel drive, it drops to 18 to 23 miles per gallon with the automatic transmission. And if you're an old-timer who likes to shift for himself with a manual transmission, it drops to 17 to 21. Unfortunately, there's no new and improved engine in the 4-cylinder lineup. The base engine is still the 2.7-liter, 159 horsepower unit. It's a bit outclassed by the GMC unit that puts out 200 horsepower, but on the positive side, it does run forever, even though low on power. The fuel economy rating for the 4-banger is 19 to 23 in 2-wheel drive. In 4-wheel drive, it's 19 to 22 with the automatic, or 19 to 21 with the manual gearbox. So as you can see, the overall difference in fuel economy between the 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder just isn't there. It's about the same. The small 4-cylinder engine and 2-wheel drive makes sense, but if you're going 4-wheel drive, you really need something bigger than that little 159 horsepower 4-cylinder unit. You're going to have the slowest vehicle on the planet, but it's there if you want to do it that way. But if you're looking for more than a work truck and going off-road, you definitely should get this V6. Now we'll take a look at the cabin, and you can fit 2 adults in the back here, although knee room's a bit cramped. Okay for short trips, but from Los Angeles to New York, I don't think that trip would be very comfortable. In the limited version, you get nice leather seats. I found the driver's seat to be relatively comfortable, but I'm told it does not raise or lower, which is obviously true. And it's manually operated, not power. Sort of odd in this price range, but no big deal. For the 2016 model, we get a new and improved interior, stressing the improved. Far better than the previous version. Materials and workmanship are excellent. We have a very nice, well-designed gauge cluster. Climate control, 3 simple knobs. Doesn't get much better than that. And a simple knob for the 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive system right here. The upgraded audio system, very easy to use. A very large, useful glove box if you take out all those owner's manuals and stick them somewhere else. These sun visors are well designed. They slide back and forth to block out the sun from the side window. Something we don't see on some other Toyota or Lexus products. They should all have this. Then again, all cars should have this. A useful center console. And before we're done looking at the interior, I wanted to show you the rear seats one more time. They do fold down on the positive side. However, in doing so, you really don't have much more room than when the seats are up. Here it is from the other side. Not sure I get it. Yeah, I realize this is a harder surface, less likely to tear the seats, but if I've got something that sharp, I don't think I'd want in here with all this nice leather anyway. But if you buy the truck, hey, it's your choice, not mine. By the way, you do get a storage compartment behind the rear seat for hiding valuables. One positive feature right there. In fact, that's a good place to hide the headrests that have been blocking my view. Another storage compartment under the seat as well. So now we've covered the styling, the engine, and the cabin, and the headlights. Next thing up is to get some driving done. See how this performs, especially the fuel economy. And a bit of off-roading down the road. If we had the light 2-wheel drive Toyota Tacoma with a smaller cab, I could probably impress you with the acceleration of this V6. But we're loaded down with a lot of weight here. So this is no drag racer. You hit the throttle, it eventually moves out. A lot smoother than the previous engine. Nice brakes too. With these giant wheels and tires, this truck does bounce around quite a bit on the freeway. But it's not a big deal because this is a very solid body structure with nice shocks. So you're not feeling any of the impacts in the cabin. It's still comfortable to drive, even on longer trips. We're going to take the Tacoma off pavement, and 2 things I've noticed already. Number 1, at low speeds, like under 2,000 RPM, the throttle response and torque output is far superior to what we got on the previous V6 4-liter engine. The performance is better, and this should help fuel economy as well. Number 2, in spite of all the potholes, rocks, and bumps I'm hitting, the suspension is still very comfortable for those in the cabin. And 3rd, with the excellent performance of this automatic transmission, I fail to see why anybody would want the manual transmission, especially since the manual transmission is slower and uses more fuel. But Again, it's there if you want it. I also noticed I was able to stick more gear in the second row seating with the seats up rather than folded down, although I'm not sure what to make about that. There's one feature about this truck you really need to know about, and nobody on YouTube or in the media has discussed this yet, so we're going to discuss it now. First, the steering wheel does tilt up and down. However, it only moves 1 inch in either direction. Secondly, as we mentioned previously, the seat does not lower or raise itself. It's in a fixed position as far as height goes. So with my measuring tape, it only gives me 7 1/2 inches of clearance between the seat and the steering wheel for my legs to get into. Which means getting in the vehicle can be tricky. As you can see, my legs are bumping on the steering wheel. Now, doing this occasionally is fine, but we're doing this in and out, opening gates, out here in the desert, getting back in. This is getting to be very annoying. If you're extremely tall and push the seat all the way back, you're lucky. You get a whopping 8 inches of clearance, so it might work for you. But guys and gals, if you're a real porker and you got a big fat butt like Oprah, this is the first thing you want to check out on a test drive. If you fit, fine, but you might not. Just something to look out for. Well, since we came all the way out here, we're going to spend the night. Good thing it's a double cabin, has lots of room in there. They call this a compact truck, but lengthwise it seems to be almost as long as the full-size Tundra, especially if you get the longer bed instead of the short bed like we have here. While the Tacoma might not be shorter than a full-size truck, it's certainly narrower, which allows you to take narrow trails when you're going off-road. In this case, it's a blessing because I have thousands of thorn bushes on either side of me just waiting to scratch the paint off this, but it hasn't touched the truck yet. In a wider truck, this would be a problem. Now we get to the part many of you might have been waiting for, the real-world fuel economy figures. If you're looking to get 23 mpg highway listed on the window sticker, you can do that if you keep it below 65 miles per hour. In fact, if you keep it down to 55 miles per hour, you can creep it up to 24 to 25 mpg. For those of you who drive at 75 miles per hour on the freeway, the best you're going to see is 20 to 21 mpg, no better. It has less to do with the engine and more to do with the configuration, because when you jack a vehicle up like this, you have lots of air running underneath, which creates lots of drag, and thus you lose some mileage. In city driving, I get around 17 to 18 mpg, which is better than the previous V6, which did around 15 to 16 mpg. And it's not just about fuel economy, it's about improved engine performance, and this power plant is far superior to the previous V6, so that's worth it in itself. The 40 grand price tag seems a bit steep to some people, but you're not just buying a truck, you're buying a Toyota that's going to be running a long time after the warranty runs out, and that's certainly worth something. A very nice high quality truck, and I certainly hated giving it back. If you'd like to watch the video test of the 2016 GMC Canyon we had, simply click on the link here.